Hey everybody, this is Benny, and today I am Benny Redbeard the Pirate. For my second Steam Next Fest demo, I am playing Windrose. I actually started playing Windrose last week, and I thought this week would be the perfect time to post up some of my beginner tips and tricks for those of you just trying out the game demo. Now, the game's tutorial quest will run you through the basics of getting your first base up and running, so I won't bore you with watching me do the intro quests. But what I will do is hopefully give you some of what you need to fill in the blanks that this early demo version tutorial might be a little too vague on. I've split the guide into 3 parts: home base, exploration, and ground combat. For this video, we're not going to get into ship combat, which probably just needs a video of its own eventually. If you're having trouble with combat, I strongly suggest you stick with me to the end of the video, or just skip ahead, but you might miss something useful along the way. Let's get started with home base. First and foremost, the bonfire is more than just a quest at the beginning, it's a requirement for every base. Without the bonfire, none of the objects you build will be persistent. You can build bonfires everywhere, by the way. You're not required to just stick with one. This is your base flag, your land claim marker, etc. You get the idea. The bonfire is also what provides your resting buff. This buff is augmented by comfort, so go ahead and build furniture, decorations, and trophies. More on comfort in just a minute. You can also build bonfires inside of mines, keep you refreshed while mining, and allowing you to place torches for the light. You can also place them near enemy spawn locations to give you a boost in battle. The bonfire is how you manage your crew and guests as well. Just go over and click on it, and you'll get that menu. You can explore that yourself. And speaking of guests, you should talk to the doctor every day and ask if he has something for you. You'll get a minor healing potion each time. Now, as for that comfort score, the higher it is, the more time you get your rested buff. That buff will cause your stamina to regenerate much faster. Note that these decoration categories don't stack. To get the best comfort buff quickly, just grab one item from each row. Next, and this kind of plays into both combat and adventuring as well, make sure you have food made before you leave camp. It's not needed so much while in camp, but stamina and health for chopping wood and fighting enemies is very important. You can have up to 2 food items active at once, and each contributes to your health bar. Even plain, easy food at the start of the game will at least keep you in the hit points. Before we adventure out from camp, a couple of inventory management tips. These controls are all shown on screen, but I know from my own ability to overlook the obvious that some of you might have a couple of aha moments while I go over this. So, first, hit Q while looking at a storage container to store similar items without opening the chest. I love when games offer that mechanic. Next, while in the inventory screen, hold Alt while left-clicking to split stacks. And lastly, hold Shift while clicking to quickly transfer stacks from one container to another. There's also a button here at the top to transfer all items, transfer similar items, and sort. Lastly, any crafting station inside the same bonfire range will have access to all of your storage containers in that bonfire range. No need to grab something from a chest first. Yay! But crafting stations will not pull from other crafting stations, so you got to make sure you empty them out and put the contents into a chest. As of the time of this video, this game is in the pre-release demo version, so I expect there will be changes and upgrades coming soon. Next, we're going to transition into the navigation portion of the video. Don't forget your food and to empty your pack before venturing out. If you have found the lantern, make sure it's filled. You can do that at a crafting table under the Repair Refill tab. Once you have your first tiny ship, you'll also want to equip your base with a bell for fast travel return. To fast travel, you can either travel from bell to bell, or you can summon your ship with K, board it, and then go to the map and travel to any bell you have placed. While we're looking at the map, I'd like to mention map markers. These are easily overlooked, but can be very handy for marking anything from good spawn locations to clay to other mineral deposits. POIs you discover on the map will automatically be added. You'll also see a number by some POIs saying something like 0 out of 3. That means there are 3 hidden chests still left to find. Those will count down until eventually you get a green check mark. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, ground combat. Ground combat in Windrose has been called all sorts of things, but great isn't often one of them. I'm here to challenge that a little bit. I'm not the most action combat-oriented individual. I normally suck at active combat, which is why I prefer games that have solid ranged combat systems, simple hack-and-slash combat, or turn-based systems. Windrose's land combat system appears to be very difficult and clunky at first, but even I was able to get the hang of it once I learned a few tricks. First, let's talk about parrying and blocking. Your weapon choice does matter, not just for speed and damage, but for which ability scores pair best and how many blocks you get with it. When you raise your weapon to block, you'll see these shields appear. This poise meter determines how many times you can block or parry in a short succession. Your opponent also has a number of shield icons. Once depleted, the enemy will be staggered. In this case, because the rapier does 2 poise damage, the dodo is instantly staggered by 1 parry. If you're too early to the parry but are still holding the button when the attack lands, you'll block instead. This won't remove enemy poise and basically just buys you a little time. For me though, blocking and parrying are for last resorts and emergency situations. I'm just not good enough to pull off consistent parries. If you are, then great. You don't need me, you know what to do. For everyone else, here's my secrets. I won't get into armor, weapons, food, or skills here. That's a whole different video. Other than to say that my technique involves not getting hit, so I prioritize weapon upgrades over armor, as well as stamina boosting foods and skills. The key to ground combat is going to be dodging, or dash as it's listed in the key bindings, and target lock as well. By default, dash is done with the control key, but if you're like me, there's already too much going on for the left hand. I bound it instead to an auxiliary mouse button. If that's not an option for you, then you just might want to think about what would give you the easiest access to it in combat. To go along with the dash button, you'll want easy access to the target lock button. By default, it's T, but I have mine bound on C. Just do whatever works for you. I've also put the aim control on a mouse button as well. It normally defaults to Alt, which is a little awkward to hit. With your control scheme ready to go, let's get fighting. First, check your food buffs. Make sure you have all the advantages you can. Luring a combatant to an open beach with a bonfire is ideal. Keep in mind that if your attack strikes a bush or a tree, it will often not do any damage to your opponent. Make sure you have room to dodge. If you do try to dodge backwards, but there's a tree behind you, you could be in trouble. Your best bet is to always fight in an open area with lots of space. If you can, try to pull just one enemy at a time. Move towards the group slowly. Their detection range is much higher if they're facing you. You can use that to allow one target to detect you while the other is facing the other direction. Once you have their attention, lure them to their doom. Now that you've done everything you can to have the best circumstances, let's engage. If the target is a tough one, or you just so happen to have way too much gunpowder, and let me know down in the comments below how you managed to accomplish that feat, you'll want to lead off with a shot or two. You do much more damage with a headshot, so that's where we're going to aim. Once the enemy has closed the distance, it's time to practice patience. The worst thing you can do is to try and rush a kill. As they rush you, lock onto the target. This will keep you pointed in the right direction while dodging. Keep in mind that while fighting though, that if you need to disengage and catch your breath, you might want to hit the lock button again to release yourself. Most mobs have a fairly long wind-up animation. You want them to strike first. When they do, dodge. Backwards is easiest, but only works if your back is clear. Sideways is fine too, but it can be disorienting. Pick whichever seems the most appropriate for the situation. After you dodge and they swing, immediately close and attack. Then dodge again right after you attack. Most enemies will attack right after you strike, so this needs to be done quickly. Once you learn an enemy's pattern, you can often get in a power attack instead of a light one, or even several light ones. When doing all this, it's important to watch your stamina meter. Take your time. The meter charges up quick if it isn't depleted, but if you let it go to red, it takes much longer. While getting the hang of combat, I suggest you use this pattern. Dodge, a single light attack, then dodge again, and then circle or back up until your stamina is full. And be ready to dodge if the enemy gets too close. Some of them that can charge you or move quickly can be on top of you while you're still trying to regenerate your stamina. Be ready to dodge. Then repeat. As you get better at this, you'll learn when you can get in that extra attack or learn to circle behind them with side dodges. Lastly, if you do get hit, you can try and salvage some of your lost health by striking your enemy again before this dark red bar disappears. When you take a hit, part of the damage can be undone by damaging your enemies. So I hope some of this helps you out. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any tips or tricks of your own that you would like to share. Special thanks to my channel members for their continuing support. And as of this time, G-Portal is planning to offer servers for Windrose as soon as they're made available. Check out my link in the description for 10% off any G-Portal server rental. I do get a small commission, which really helps the channel. Until next time, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Benny out.